This is No One's Coming to Save You, Part 2. Everyone's heard the quote, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. I think that is one of the most powerful quotes I've ever read. And if you look at that quote and you ask yourself, where is America at on that spectrum? We are between good times create weak men and weak men create hard times. Our society is filled with pussies and cowards and the incapable and people that fill their fucking gullet with bullshit, and they don't train their body. They don't train their mind. They're not looking to become more resilient. They don't give a fuck about being a protector of their community, a protector of their family. Their gut is so big, they can't see their fucking dick. And what we have done as a society is we have normalized that. And we have accepted that. 500 years ago, if your gut was so fucking big you couldn't see your dick, you would be slaughtered. 1,000 years ago, you would be slaughtered. 2,000 years ago, you would be slaughtered. But we have created a utopia that we call America, which allows people to be gluttonous. It allows them to become lazy. It allows them to become incapable. And what we have found is our society is filled with men that are incapable fucking weaklings. This episode's going to have a lot of negativity in it. And I'm in a little bit of a conflict with that because I do not like projecting negativity to people, especially via this platform, because this platform has been built to teach people to be better, to be more capable, to become the man that is capable of defending their family. And I have seen this platform over the course of the 100 episodes that I've released change people's fucking lives. I've received countless emails of, hey, Greg, I listened to one of your episodes and it talked about how Jiu Jitsu made you stronger, so I tried Jiu Jitsu. I'm down 40 pounds. My relationship's the best it's ever been. My wife feels like I'm the man of the house again. I get these all the time. And I have a very small platform. I think about guys like Rogan and Jocko that are reaching millions and millions of people. But we're all pushing the same message. Be a better version of yourself. And the reason I'm angry and the reason I'm kind of pissed off today is because I'm watching the news and I'm seeing 20 babies got slaughtered in Texas. And everybody's pointing the finger here. They're pointing the finger there. Everybody wants to blame guns. They want to blame mental health. You're to blame, motherfucker. You and me. Go look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why our fucking babies are being murdered. It's your fault. It's my fault. Because we have allowed society to degrade to the point where this kind of stuff occurs on the regular. It happens all the time now. And why is that? Well, I'll tell you why it is. It's because the men in this country are fat, weak, incapable fucking pussies. And because you're a fat, weak, incapable fucking pussy, an 18-year-old kid can walk into a school and slaughter our fucking babies. And I'm mad about it. It's happening more and more. That cocksucker went into a grocery store about 3 days before this and shot 10 people. When are you motherfuckers going to wake up? When you're going to say the world that we share with these other people is violent, it's dangerous, it's scary. This is the reality that we live in. We don't live in a fucking utopia. We live in a violent, crazy fucking existence, and you're part of it. And if you're going to be part of it, what are you going to do to ensure that good wins? Because when you're fucking weak, evil wins. I don't expect our women and our children to defend themselves against evil. I expect us as men, and we are failing. And I am failing. I do what I can to try and stay healthy, to try and stay resilient, to keep my skills sharp. I'm training my daughters on doing those same things because, God forbid, they confront a situation in their life where they have to deal and face evil and violence. They better be fucking mentally prepared. They better be physically prepared. They better have the capabilities and the tools to confront evil. And all that stuff exists. All that stuff is available to you. But it takes hard work. It takes dedication. And it takes a mindset of winning and embracing the grind. That is why today's episode is titled No One's Coming to Save You Part 2. Because this is one of the biggest fucking problems in our society. Everybody expects somebody else to deal with their problem. Somebody expects somebody else to come and save them. You want a law enforcement officer to protect you. You want a police officer to come and save you from the conflict that you're facing. Do you know how long it takes to shoot 20 people? Potentially that could be a 3-minute encounter or less. You better be prepared to defend our fucking communities as a man. You better be able to run 6 blocks to the sound of gunfire and draw your weapon and move tactically through a building and pie around a corner and get a sight picture and drop that motherfucker. But not only are we failing as individual men, our society is failing. Our government is failing. And if you don't think hard times are ahead, you're fucking lying to yourself. The men that were in that facility when our fucking babies were being murdered, where were you at? What were you doing? I'm sure there's all kinds of policy and rules that disallows the men inside of that school to be armed, to be trained, to be ready to confront psychos. Oh, because this is a gun-free zone and you can't have a gun in here. Fuck you and fuck our government. These motherfuckers target gun-free zones. These motherfuckers target babies and women. And why do you think that is? When are you going to pull your fucking head out of your asses? If we don't become protectors and we don't take our role as men in our society serious, and we don't put the safety of our women and children ahead of the safety of ourselves, if we don't start doing those things, this country is fucking lost. And I think it might already be lost. We have allowed cowards to infiltrate the ranks of men. And the downfall of our society is going to be a result of that. I've talked about it on the show before. Every fucking time I go to a restaurant, every time I go to Starbucks to get a coffee, and I know everyone's pissed, you fucking go to Starbucks? Trust me, I'm having a conflict with that myself lately. But the man that serves me food, the man that hands me a cup of coffee is a fucking weak little pussy. I believe in freedom of choice. I believe in freedom of pursuing your passions and being the person that you want to be. I'm not saying my path is the path for everybody, but if you are a fucking weak little pussy, you don't get a say in what happens or what doesn't happen. You are a victim. You will be told what to do, and you don't have the capability to change the trajectory of anything. Every 20-year-old something that I see lately has arms the size of fucking spaghetti noodles. They talk with lisps, and I don't know what the fuck that is. Thank you for choosing Starbucks. What can I get you? Listen, you want to fuck a dude? You fuck a dude. But what does that have to be with just giving weak pussy fucking energy in every single aspect of your life? I'm sick of it. Their skin is pale. They got circles under their eyes. Our youth has become weak and fucking pathetic. And that's the next generation of protectors. So good luck. When I was in high school, or when I was a kid, I can't tell you how many kids would meet up after school and get in fistfights. We'd go to parties and we'd get drunk and we'd be wild. Lake Stevens and Snohomish would fight each other every weekend. Groups of 17 and 18-year-old boys just beating the shit out of each other. You know, a couple podcasts ago, I had my childhood friend, Andrew Taylor, on. And that was the MO for when we were kids, is getting drunk and fighting and being wild. Now, am I saying that is the best recipe for becoming a productive member of society? No, not necessarily. But what I'm saying is our generation had a fire in us. We had a thirst for violence. We wanted to get after it. That doesn't exist anymore. And that thirst for violence when you're 18 years old can be directed at the rival high school down the street. Fuck Lake Stevens. Let's fight those kids. And I live here now. And it's ridiculous when I look back on it. But it's because there is a fire inside of us and it was burning. Kids would meet behind the church after school all the time and beat the shit out of each other. Now you do that, you're going to jail. And there's a part of me that's starting to think that everything that we see, everything that our society is facing, and everything that we are seeing is calculated. And it's all part of a plan to make us weaker and just turn our society into fucking bitches. It's the way they treat us. It's the rules they impose on us. It's the bullshit they put in our food. It's the bullshit they put in our water. We have all-time low testosterone levels in America. Well, what could that be from? It is the food. It is the water. It is your daily activity. High school kids don't want to fuck girls anymore. I'm not really interested in having a girlfriend right now. What? That's the entire fucking mission of being a 16, 17-year-old boy. That's on your mind 24/7. And I wasn't unique. Every single fucking dude I knew, that was our entire mission when you're 17 years old. Is chasing fucking girls. And I talk to today's kids and they're like, I don't know. I'm not really interested in a girlfriend right now. I don't have time for that. And some people applaud that and they say, oh, you know what? He's focused on school right now. Is school a primal fucking need of being a savage? We're taking our primal urges and we're suppressing them. And we're becoming fucking a nation of cowards and pussies. And that is what they want. They don't want you to be resilient. They don't want you to be testosterone filled. defiant as fuck, ready to fight at the drop of a hat. And that's why we're all victims now. And that's why I'm saying it's your fault. I posted that strong men quote on my Instagram today. Today's May 25th. This will come out, 10 days later or so. And I said, many of us are trying to do our part. But as a collective, this is where we're at. We are at the good times create weak men. And because of this, suffering awaits. We're starting to see it surfacing more and more. I love people, and I'm not saying this with negativity or fear in my heart, but get your affairs in order. Become healthy. Become capable. And love the people to your left and right, because we're going to need each other very, very soon. If that seems unreasonable to you, I don't think you are operating inside of a place that is based in reality. We're relying on the government to save us. Think about this, guys. We are relying on picking up our phone, dialing 911, and some man is going to show up with an AR-15 and save the day. I was inside of that profession for 10 years, and I'm here to tell you right now, and this isn't me being disparaging towards police officers. This is me speaking facts. I love the profession, and I support police officers. But if I was out of town and someone broke into my house and my wife and my 3 daughters had to call 911, and that call got dispatched, and now some officer is headed to my house to save the day, I would say that there is a 95% chance that whoever shows up doesn't meet my expectations of who you need to be as a man or woman to save my motherfucking family. It's not only members of our society and the men that make up our society, but it's within the ranks of law enforcement too. Fat, weak, fucking pussies that are not going to save anything. The other thing that you need to think about is that law enforcement is reactive most of the time. Now, they always talk about, law enforcement, go out there and be a proactive police officer. And this isn't hate on cop hour. Let me reiterate that. There's tons of good men and women in that profession. But it is a reactive profession, especially when we're dealing with violent crimes, home invasions, assaults, rape. This thing occurs or starts to occur. Somebody has to either witness it or become a victim of one of these crimes. Then law enforcement is contacted, and now they're coming to help. What's the average response time? Well, that depends on your area. There's some jurisdictions that can get there in a couple minutes. There's some jurisdictions out in the middle of fucking nowhere that you're looking at a half an hour. But I don't care if it's 1 minute or if it's 30 minutes. A lot of bad shit can happen in that time. So what are you going to do to ensure that you can protect yourself from that bad shit from occurring? We are all relying on the government to come and save us. The government, they have the answer to everything. These motherfuckers are stealing you blind, sending all your money to Ukraine so it can be laundered back to themselves. They don't give a fuck about you, but you want to rely on them to save your fucking children's lives? The government fucking hates you. I shouldn't say they hate you. They probably love you because you make them rich. They look at you as a fucking minion, as a slave. It's embarrassing to me that I used to be a part of it, and I'm fucking ashamed, to tell you the truth. But at the same time, it was my path. It was who I was as a young man, and it built me into who I am today. But I want you guys to think about something. The government wants us to rely on them for our safety, while simultaneously taking away our capabilities to defend ourselves. More gun restrictions constantly chipping away. Starting, I think it's July 1st in Washington, 10 rounds in your pistol magazine. 10 rounds. I've been a law-abiding citizen my whole fucking life. I have nothing on my record. I served in 2 wars. I served as a law enforcement officer for a decade. I've never done anything that would lead anyone in our society to believe that I can't defend my family with 20-round magazines in my Glock. I put the little extenders on. So my 17-round magazines now hold 22, I believe. No, you can't. Greg Anderson can't do that anymore. Because we've determined that how he defends his family needs to be determined by us. Let me say this as clear as possible. Go fuck yourself. I will continue to carry whatever I want. There is a Glock in my waistband 24/7, and I do not have a concealed carry permit. Come and fucking do something about it. I fucking dare you. I am open about this because I am unafraid. And you want to come and fucking do something about it, then you're going to find out what that's going to look like. This fucking government has absolutely become out of control. They tell you how you can defend your family, how many bullets you can have in your gun, what type of gun that you can have, while simultaneously using the weapon systems to protect themselves that they tell you you can't have. Go fuck yourself. There's not a clearer way to put it. And if any state, local, federal authority wants to listen to the Greg Anderson podcast and say, this guy sounds out of control, maybe we should start an investigation. Fuck you too. Agent whoever listening to my fucking show, fuck you. You know goddamn well that I am right. And that's why I'm not afraid of you. Everybody needs to start operating from a place with no fear in their hearts. Because when we have fear in our hearts, we are subjects of the government. And you can never put me in a place where I have fear in my heart, because I've come to terms with what all of this looks like. Come and tell me I can't have 22 rounds in my Glock to defend my 3 young daughters. Come and fucking tell me that. Try and arrest me. Try and charge me with a misdemeanor because I don't have my concealed carry permit and there's a Glock in my waistband 24/7. Come and fucking do that. And you know what? Maybe the day comes where they do come for that. And that might be the end of fucking Greg Anderson. And all you motherfuckers out there that just obey and do what you're told and be good little boys, enjoy your fucking life being a pussy. I'm 41 years old. I know plenty of guys that were killed in their 20s fighting for this government, imposing our will all over the fucking world. And now that I see them for who they are, and I understand the things that I was a part of, that I will probably have to answer for one day, I will make no lies about that. I'm not afraid. And that's what people need to realize. Do not be afraid. Because as soon as you were afraid, you were under control. This fucking government is bought and paid for. And it's a big fucking club. And like George Carlin said, you ain't in it. You know, we have a mental health crisis going on. And I don't know how far down the rabbit hole we want to go with that. But this mental health crisis is rooted in us pumping our kids full of psychiatric drugs. Oh, your kid has ADHD, attention deficit disorder. He's a hyper little boy. Let's pump him full of something from one of these big pharmaceutical companies. You motherfuckers deserve to hang too. And if you're a parent that's doing that, someone should slap the fucking taste out of your mouth. You don't want hyper fucking kids in your household? Don't fuck. Don't make babies. Because guess what little kids are? They're hyper. And they're full of energy. And they run around. And they can be destructive. And they can be a pain in your ass. I'm not going to lie. But if your solution to that, to your kids running around and being destructive and making messes, if your solution to that is fucking start giving them drugs, I wish you the worst fucking outcome possible. Because you're part of the problem. And you're a coward fucking pussy that doesn't deserve to be a parent. Get your kids off the bullshit and get them onto the Jiu Jitsu mats. Get your kids off the bullshit and get them out in the mountains hiking around. Get them off the bullshit and teach them how to be resilient, how to be tough. But no, a lot of you motherfuckers just want to have kids, push them off on some nanny. You don't invest your energy into them. You don't invest your time into them. They're feeling lost. They're feeling unfulfilled. They're having fucking problems in life, and it's your fault. And I'm sick of it. This country is filled with weak excuses for men. The obesity rate is what? The overweight rate, I think, is in the 70% or above. The obese rate, I want to say, is 40 something. And it's always getting worse. And it's because you're just a big fat fucking coward with no discipline. But eating makes me feel good. Yeah, motherfucker, eating makes me feel good too. You don't think I want to eat pie every night? You don't think I want to live on cheeseburgers and pizza and french fries? It tastes the same in my mouth as it does in yours. Have some fucking discipline. Because the community needs you. The community needs you to be the best version of yourself. But the government wants you to be the weakest version of yourself. So they perpetuate all this bullshit and you're fucking falling for it. The food pyramid. The food pyramid was established in what, the 70s? Go look at a video of human beings, or I shouldn't say humans, of Americans in the 60s. Go look at a video of them on the beach. Almost every man has abs. Now, if you have abs, you're an anomaly. You're this rare occurrence. You're a meathead. They have fed us bullshit. The foundational element of your diet should be bread. That's the government. Does anyone think that sounds reasonable? That we should be eating gluten as our primary food source? Guys, we can go down a million different rabbit holes on this, but we are being attacked on every single front. They are making you fat. They're taking away your guns. They're taking away your fucking will to be a fucking savage. They're killing your testosterone, and they're feeding you bullshit Sean Baker's a friend of mine. He's one of my Jiu Jitsu students. He's 55 years old. He's jacked. And he's strong as fuck because I fight him on the regular basis. And he hasn't had a bite of anything but meat in 5 years. And I'm not saying that there's a one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. I understand people have different genetic needs and our DNA varies based on where our ancestors are from. I get all that. But the government doesn't get all that. They tell you that a certain amount of sugar is okay. A certain amount of trans fats are okay. You need to wake up and you need to decide, do I want to become strong and capable, or do I want to be one of these fucking lemmings that does what it's told? Because that is what the majority of American men are. And I don't care how bad it gets. If you are one of the strong, one of the capable, we will win and we will figure out a way. But if you are one of the people that's just relying on somebody else to save you, somebody else to tell you what to do, what to eat, how many rounds you can have in your Glock, you will be led to the slaughter like a fucking lemming. And maybe I'm being crazy Anderson again, but read a fucking history book of Chairman Mao, of Vladimir Lenin. I want you guys to think about these fucking human beings that have perpetuated unimaginable amounts of death on society. This is a human that is hungry for power and control, just like your fucking government. And if you don't think that it's within the realm of possibility that they'll do the same, you're telling yourself a lie. And that's all there is to it. It is our fault that these things are happening. You know, Sean Whalen, who I've met and we've talked a little bit on Instagram, and anytime I bring him up, I get emails saying that guy is a piece of shit. And from what I know about him, I like him. I consider him a friend. And he made a post today that was talking about how many schools that we have in our country, kindergarten through 12th grade. And I forget the number that he had, but he did a little math problem. He said there are this many schools. We would need this many armed guards. We would pay them $75,000 a year as a salary to protect a school. We have enough veterans and people in our community that are capable of fulfilling that role. And when you do all the math, it equals $9.8 billion a year to keep every child in America protected by a capable armed security guard. Nope. We'll send $40 billion to Ukraine every couple weeks. That's what we'll do. We'll take all of your money, all the money that you have earned working your fingers to the fucking bone, especially if you work overtime, because then we're taking twice as much. Oh, you motherfucker, you want to work on Saturday? We're taxing you twice as much. They're going to take all of our hard-earned money and send it to the other side of the fucking world while our babies are being murdered. And you motherfuckers are okay with that. Well, I'm not. I've had enough. We have the resources, we have the people, we have the capabilities. But nope, it's not a priority. Ukraine is the priority of the U.S. government right now. I wonder why that could be. And I had a friend write me, and he said, I'm in the army right now, and I know guys that have been in Ukraine, and it's fucked up. Why are you perpetuating all of this stuff about fuck Ukraine? I was in Afghanistan. I was in Iraq. I was in those countries for a fucking decade. Do you know what I understood? I understood what was right in front of my nose. I understood what was in the next room. I understood what was at the end of the alley. I didn't understand that I was being manipulated by the military-industrial complex to go wage war in foreign lands based on lies. Weapons of mass destruction cost me almost 5 years of my life. Again, I'm not crying about that, and I'm not saying that if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't, because those experiences made me a motherfucker. And that's what I hope the government realizes. That all your fucking games and all your bullshit and all your wars that you sent us all to when we were kids, you made me a son of a bitch. And now I'm fucking mad about it. And if you think my story is unique, I can promise you it's fucking not. I just happen to be the guy with a podcast that doesn't give a fuck about saying it publicly. Every veteran I know shares my sentiments. And now it's all happening all over again. Have we had a legitimate war since World War II? Are we just going to keep letting our government send our sons and daughters all over the fucking planet, wasting all of our fucking money? While we're dealing with more and more chaos at home? My city of Seattle that I grew up in looks like a third world fucking country. And I'm supposed to just accept that as normal because they're drug addicts. And we've decided we're not going to prosecute crimes anymore that are below $900 worth of theft or that are related to drug addiction. If you guys don't think this stuff is calculated at this point, I feel sorry for you. These prosecutors that won't take any fucking cases. I've told the story on the podcast before. I had a 265-pound Samoan hyped up on PCP, which I didn't even know existed anymore. I've never heard of that when I was on patrol. But the toxicology report came back, and when I beat that motherfucker into a pulp, come to find out, he was high on PCP. PCP gives you superhuman strength. Well, it doesn't give you superhuman technique. And I mauled that motherfucker. And I'll post pictures on my Instagram to prove it. But here's the sad part. The night before, he fought 7 cops in the city of Renton. 7 cops. And the prosecutor decided, well, we're going to let him out. We're going to release him on bail for whatever his charges were. I'm not familiar with what he was charged with in the city of Renton. But in our jurisdiction, he was charged with like 5 felonies. I broke my hand smashing this guy's fucking skull in. And guess what they did again? Let him out that night. We booked him on 4 or 5 felonies, and they let him out that night. He stole a car. He hit a pregnant lady. A female officer of partner of mine tried to block him in, and he hit her car. I broke my hand taking this guy into custody. We'll let him out. That's what we're dealing with. They don't give a fuck about protecting your communities anymore. And it is either absolute incompetence or it is by design. And the more this stuff gets perpetuated, the more I have to start to lean towards it's by design. With these Soros-appointed prosecutors. They want to see chaos in our streets. They want to see fucking civil unrest, and they want to see people suffering. It's all part of the plan. You know, when I was a deputy, I was a active shooter instructor. That was part of my duties. I was the active shooter instructor for my district, and I would be sent to attend these courses to become the subject matter expert, the SME on active shooters. So I have a little bit of experience in this. And even at the highest level of training and capability, do you want to know what the fucking model is that was being taught? I've talked about it on the show before. The model that was being taught was run, hide, fight. So if you can flee, you can get away, get away. If you can't get away, find a real good spot to hide. And then last case scenario, God forbid, you have to defend yourself or others. Whoever came up with that is another person that needs to be slapped in the motherfucking face. Run, hide, fight should be a curriculum taught to women and children. Period. If you are a man over the age of 16 years old, the response to an active shooter is fight, fight, fight. But they've taken away our ability to defend themselves. You can't have a firearm on you. You can't even have a fucking knife. My 9-year-old daughter took her pocket knife to school one time in her backpack on accident. And some other kids saw it, and it was a big deal. And oh my God, a 9-year-old has a knife. And I was told that I'm lucky the police didn't get involved. And that's where we're at, guys. And then you're surprised when some cocksucking maniac comes into a fucking school and is able to slaughter 25 people. Because you can't do anything. You can't have any tools. You can't have the ability to defend yourself. And it's by design. They're telling you to run and hide like fucking pussies and like fucking cowards. If I went and locked myself in a closet while 7-year-old babies were being murdered, I hope one of you would come to my house and murder me, because that's what I fucking deserve. If you go hide when the most vulnerable members of our society are being victimized, fuck you. String you up. That's what you deserve. And that's what they're teaching. Run, hide, fight. Only fight if it comes down to absolutely no other options available. It makes me sick. You know, on a macro scale, our government teaches us the will to kill. Our military is built up to take over countries anywhere in the fucking world. We have unlimited money. We have unlimited resources. We have fucking helicopters and planes and javelins and billions of dollars worth of equipment that is designed to kill other human beings. And the Ranger Regiment, I believe, I've been out for 20 years now, but it's time on target anywhere on planet Earth. We can be jumping in to assault an airfield in 18 hours. From the time your phone beeps till the time you're jumping out of the plane is 18 hours or less. The government knows how to build capability. The government knows how to invest into the right men to have violent, rapid, deployable forces that can fucking confront motherfuckers anywhere in the world. That's a macro level. But on the micro level, when it's you as an individual, they want to keep you scared and they want to keep you weak at home. Now, why could that be? Why do we have the greatest military that the world has ever known? And I don't know if it still is. Every generation says that. My generation was this, and now you guys are a bunch of pussies. But when I see soldiers on TikTok doing all their bullshit, looking like skinny fucking pussies, seems to be no uniform standards anymore. There seems to be no height weight standards anymore. I got to ask myself, is the military still what it used to be? And the truth is, I don't know. I'm sure the special operations units are still filled with goddamn savages that are praying to deploy to the other side of the world and fuck dudes up. And I hope that that's the case. But the government is happy to invest in weapon systems and training to deal with conflict abroad. But when it comes to dealing with any type of conflict at home, they don't want you to have the ability to do it. On a micro level, they want you to rely on them. But like I've said, every generation of soldiers that they're training, they have taught what the will to kill is. They have taught what it means to put fear on the back burner and confront what is right in front of you. And when those men and women come home, you've created a monster that you are going to have to deal with one day. And I look forward to that day. We can't be afraid of conflict. That is one of the biggest lessons that I'm trying to get through to you guys in this episode. Conflict needs to be something that should excite you. If I knew someone was going to come into my house tonight and try and kill my family, you think I'd call the police? Not a fucking chance. I would set in an ambush and I would have the best time that I've had in probably years. And guess what? There's still a potential that I would lose because that's life and that's warfare. But you can't let the possibility of losing deter you from being willing to embrace conflict. We have done the opposite. We have done the opposite with our children. And we have taught them no conflict resolution. We have taught them to be victims, be victims, be victims. Some kid on the playground is mean to you. You go tell on him. Some kid on the playground punches you. You go tell the teacher. She calls the police. Do you know what I was told by my father when I went home? And I told a kid had hit me at the bus stop. I'm sure you'll be shocked to hear this. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't care. He said, okay, so what are you going to do about it next time? And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do about it? He goes, I can teach you what to do, but it's up to you to do it. He's like, this is how you make a fist. This is how you throw a punch. And the next time he gives you a problem, you hit him in the nose as hard as you fucking can. And that'll solve your problem. But if you're unwilling to do that, then it's your problem. And I was in like the fucking second grade. But everyone will be shocked to hear that second grade Greg did exactly what my dad said. And me and this kid never had a problem again. Conflict resolution starts with you. It starts with you teaching your child how to become resilient, how to be unafraid, how to confront violence, how to be uncomfortable. All those things are important. I'm biased, but I believe it starts with Jiu Jitsu. I never had Jiu Jitsu as a kid. Every single fucking person that trains Jiu Jitsu says they wish they started when they were younger. And I am no exception. But I'm telling you guys, you teach your kids what being uncomfortable feels like, becoming anxious, and figuring out a solution to a problem you're facing, especially if that problem is based in physicality. You have another person on top of you. You're getting an anxious response. And it teaches you how to have a belief in yourself. It teaches you how to overcome that anxiety. Our kids are depressed. They don't use their bodies. They don't have the right nourishment. They're not consuming any good nutrients anymore. Their fitness, their health, they're not asked to accomplish difficult tasks. And because they're not asked to accomplish difficult tasks, they're not getting that sense of accomplishment. All that stuff gets given to them like a gift on the mats. You talk to anybody that trains, that stuff is real. And it might be on a mat with your friends where you're learning those lessons, but it's just as applicable in a real life scenario when someone's trying to do you harm. I've told the story on the podcast before. I was a blue belt. I was 25. And I was already an Army Ranger. I'd already been deployed to a bunch of places. I wasn't afraid. I didn't give a fuck about violence. But I would just started to become capable as a fighter with my bare hands. And a motherfucker tried to break into my house, and I had him unconscious in 5 seconds. That shit is empowering. That shit is real. If I didn't know and have the capability to do that, where would that have went? What if that guy was tougher than me? Where would that have went? These are important lessons and important things to think about, but a lot of people want to put no emphasis on them because, oh, you're just a doomsday prepper. I'm not going to spend the majority of my life preparing for a what if, but this is where you motherfuckers are missing the point. I'm not preparing for a what if. I'm preparing for becoming the best version of myself. And if I never have to face conflict, if I never have to face violence, I'm still a better person for going through those things. I know myself better. I know myself on an intimate level from dealing with tons and tons of microdosed adversity. Just like I posted this morning, sat in 212 degrees for 30 minutes. Do something that makes you want to quit, but then don't quit. If you do that on the regular, you will not be a victim. Because most people, when they feel the desire to quit, they just quit. And it's because they haven't honed that skill. They haven't built that muscle. And it's an important thing to do so. Teaching men to embrace conflict and violence and struggle should be a foundational part of our entire society. I saw a video where Russian kindergartners were being marched out during recess and had to jump into a tub filled with ice water while it was snowing. And you want to know the crazy thing? None of them were upset. None of them were scared. None of them were panicking because this is just part of recess. You sit in the classroom, you learn your reading, writing, and arithmetic. We break for recess. You take a quick ice plunge, and then your day continues. That's not scary. We're just doing our day, and we're doing something that's refreshing and something that is exhilarating, something that gets your hormones pumping, something that feels fucking good. Let's go. Let's do it. So I'm putting an ice bath. I already bought it from the company Cold Plunge. It's going in my Jiu Jitsu academy. Because the ice water is a fucking fantastic tool to teach you mental resilience. But I'm 41 years old. I fell in love with ice water when I was probably 35. I've been at it a long time now. But that's 35. That's a full-grown fucking man. Imagine teaching kids that are 5 that lesson. To have the mental capacity and the mental grit and the mental fortitude to say, this is super uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it anyways. You think if you rolled an ice tub into an American kindergartner class with water that's 38 degrees Fahrenheit and said, all right, everybody's going to dunk in. I want you to stay in the water for 5 seconds. It would be sheer panic. And it's because we have nurtured a weak society. And that's just the truth. And you know I'm fucking right. Imagine how many kids would be in absolute terror to get into the ice water. I've made all my daughters get into the ice water. And I don't make them do it regularly. I'm not a fucking psychopath. But I do want them to understand falling into cold water is not out of the realm of possibility at some point in your life. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And if it happens, you need to know it doesn't fucking matter. You're absolutely fine. It makes your skin feel funny. So what? But because of that little funny, uncomfortable feeling that it does to your skin, most motherfuckers are terrified of it. And it's pathetic. Do something that is uncomfortable every day. Do something that makes you want to quit every day. Teach our fucking children to embrace conflict. Microdose adversity. A run is adversity. Do you know how many fucking runs I wanted to quit on? Basically all of them. I was not a fast ranger. Anyone that was in the regiment with me can testify to that. My PT tests were usually right around 13, give or take. If I dipped below and I was in the 12s, I felt fucking stoked. 13, 15, 13, 20. That's a 2-mile time. Most people hear that and think, wow, that's fast. I'm here to tell you it's not fast. I struggled. I had lots of guys in my squad that could run 10s and 11s. I had one motherfucker that could run in the 9s. These are 2-mile times, not 1-mile times. And so part of that regular adversity that you face needs to be based in your fitness, based in the sauna, based in the ice tub. Fuck, if you look at Frisella's 75 hard program, he's making you face adversity by drinking water because it's uncomfortable. He makes you face adversity by, you know what? You got to read every day. Some people love reading. I'm not one of those people. I fucking hate reading, but I know it's good for me. And it's something I struggle with to this day. Microdose your adversity. Become a better version of yourself because no one's coming to fucking save you but you. It's time to stand up and not be fucked with anymore. I just don't know if that's reality. All these motherfuckers, I know I already said this today, but I want to unpack it a little bit. All these motherfuckers that take every violent encounter in our country as an opportunity to take your guns and impose new restrictions on you. Every single one of them is protected by teams of men with AR-15s. And I know this to be true because I used to be one of those men. 16-man team rolling in armored fucking Suburbans. Every man on the team had a AR-15. That is what is suitable to protect Hillary Clinton. That is what is suitable to protect Joe Biden. That is what is suitable to protect Kamala Harris. But it's not what's suitable to protect you. Your family doesn't need an AR-15. That's a military-grade weapon. You have no Beto O'Rourke, that faggot fuck. I'm going to take your AR-15s. Yeah, you are. Come do it, motherfucker. Let me know how that goes for you. I hope you do it personally. I would love that opportunity. What do you think that cocksucker's protected by? The level of fucking arrogance of these people blows my mind. You're just a plumber. Greg Anderson, you just do a podcast and have a gym. What could you possibly need to protect your babies with? What could you possibly need that for? You're just a gym owner. I'm a rich politician. Not only should I get protected by AR-15s, I should get protected by taxpayer-funded security details with 20 men with AR-15s. Because they're such an efficient tool. They're protecting me and my family. I'm going to have 20 of them. You want one of them? You don't need that. You work at Boeing. You build airplanes. Well, what do you possibly need an AR-15 for? Can anyone fucking see the level of hypocrisy? And when you see this, how does it not make you fucking furious? You cock-sucking motherfuckers want to take it away from us and keep it for yourself. They want to be able to ensure that everything in their life is good. But we're not worried about your life. They're going to take your money. They're going to fly around in their private fucking jets funded by your hard work with their security details with guns that they don't want you to have. And we're okay with this? Like, at what point are we going to say we've had enough? At what point are we going to realize they're in the club that you're not in? The only thing about their club that you're a part of is that you are fucking funding it. And you're not funding it by choice. You're funding it by theft. When I worked for the government, when I was a U.S. Marshal and I would do Supreme Court Justice security details, we would go to these elaborate parties. John Legend's on the piano. Went to the Annenberg Estate in Southern California with the Supreme Court Justices. Walter Annenberg was an ambassador to England. And to this day, they have that old money. And they have all of these fucking U.S. government members groveling over them and slobbering on their fucking cocks. And it's disgusting. They sat there and they drank all fucking night. They had a choir of kids singing to them. These kids were like 16, 17 years old. And every single one of them was like perfect. All the girls were just absolutely beautiful little girls. All the boys were just perfect hair, super handsome young men. It's like, I remember looking at that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It looks like they're all out of that fucking 90210 fucking series that used to be on when we were kids. That's not a sample from a high school. No, there's weird shit going on and you're fucking paying for it. They wrapped up the evening with coffee, and I've told this story before. And they opened this box up and 100 white doves flew off into the fucking atmosphere. And I remember we had to go ask. They fed hundreds of people. There's this huge event. And my team leader had to go and be like, hey, does the security get to eat too? And they said, we're gonna see if we can get you guys some meals. Because I'm just a fucking peasant. They're eating fucking from, these 5-star meals. They're letting doves go. They're having they're being sung to by these fucking kids with John Legend on the piano. And we'll see if we can get you some dinner. This is what we're dealing with. These people hate you. They love you for your money, and that is it. And if you don't think it's time to fucking do something about it, then you need to pull your head out of your ass. Every level of government fucking hates you. If you are a police officer or you are involved in the government on a local level or a state level, be the voice to show that you are not part of this corrupt system. Be open, be overt. Everyone thought it was crazy when I did it. And here's the fucked up thing. When I did it, it wasn't even a decision. It's like, this is right and this is wrong. You're using cops to do shit that is outside of what is reasonable and what is legal and what is ethical. And you guys are fucking doing it. And there's a bunch of cops out there that are agreeing to it. It wasn't even a discussion to be had. It's time to speak up, guys. Right now. And the fucking crazy thing is, I can count on one hand how many cops made a public stand against the bullshit. Yet every single fucking cop I know disagreed with it. Silence is if you are silent, you are complicit. If you allow this government to run amok and you are a police officer and you are not standing against it publicly, you are part of the problem. It's how I pay my bills. Don't give a fuck, dude. Your bills are the least of our concerns right now. I don't give a fuck about your Ford Raptor that you have to pay $600 a month on. It's time to step up and support your community and support your country. And when your chief or your sheriff asks you to do something or treats you in a way that is out of alignment with your morals, you need to say, fuck you. I hope every cop in America says, fuck you to the system. Every single one of them. That would be a dream come true. Then we could watch chaos erupt in the streets and we could say, see, I told you, motherfuckers. But there's a lot of cops out there, and I did not believe this to be true until 2020 happened. But there's a lot of cops out there that are coward fucking pussies that will always side with tyranny because tyranny pays their bills. Just like all you cocksuckers in Canada defending Justin Trudeau. Off with your motherfucking heads is what you deserve. Call yourself fucking police officers. More like SS guards, you coward motherfuckers. But I'll say this. The day is coming. The day is coming when people are going to have to answer for the things that they did and the stances that they took. And a lot of you people that are living in fear, that are masked up, that are morbidly obese, that are scared of your own fucking shadow, that are scared of the air. You guys are victims. You're victims of government manipulation, and you are victims of propaganda. And when the day comes, when we set the record straight with these motherfuckers, you need to realize what side of history you want to be on, and you need to change your ways. And I will look at you guys as victims of propaganda, and hopefully one day you can be on the right fucking side of history. I don't have hate in my heart for those people. I have disgust in my heart, but I don't have hate in my heart because they are simply victims of propaganda. And the propaganda machine that is fucking marching across our country is the strongest propaganda machine that's ever existed in the history of mankind. And if you have been manipulated and you have been duped, you can be forgiven for that. As we move into the new phase of humanity that's about to erupt. You can be forgiven. But for you motherfuckers that are perpetuating this, for you motherfuckers that are part of the master plan, for you motherfuckers that have the boots on the necks of society, that are perpetuating the fear, that are perpetuating the fucking false narrative, that are trying to keep people down and keep people's businesses shut down and keep people unhealthy. For you motherfuckers that are actively taking a part in that, there is no forgiveness. There is none. And the day is coming when you're going to have to fucking answer for the shit that you have done to our society and our communities. And we're going to go fucking medieval. That's all I got today, guys. I'm fed the fuck up. I have a lot more on my list that I wanted to talk about, but we're at an hour and 8 minutes. I like to keep these episodes, solo episodes, at about an hour. But I want you guys to know, when we do go medieval on these motherfuckers that are trying to tear us down and destroy the futures of our children, when that day comes, I fucking need you. I need all of us. No one person can do this alone because this machine has endless resources. This machine has endless foot soldiers. And when we stand up in onesies and twosies, they will snuff us out. And they will put us on the fucking evening news as crazy white supremacists. When it goes down, we need to stand in unity. And we all need to be willing to give everything. Do it And our fucking children may have a fucking future. But like I've said before, do it not. You will be in your fucking 10 by 10 room eating fucking bugs.